I located an old pitchfork that was in. It was laying in two pieces in the back in the scrap pile. The tines had come loose from the handle, and the handle was pitched into the corner, and the tines were pitched in right after it because hardly anybody repairs hand tools anymore. It's just as easy for them to go to the store and buy another one. So I started looking at it, and the wood handle. This is the reason that I looked twice at it. This is you don't find wood handles made like this very often anymore, and it was still in pretty solid shape. So I brought it home, and the wood on the outside surface had that dry ghost town, dried out to the point of turning to dust texture. So I went over the whole thing on the outside with the DA, and I took that real loose layer completely off, and smoothed it up somewhat. Then I went and soaked it really good for probably 2 days. I just kept putting layer after layer of linseed oil mixed with mineral oil, and about every 2 hours I'd go through and give it another coat, and it would soak it right in without even hesitating. It wouldn't even stay glossy for more than about 5 minutes. So I know it's still soaking in. When I get done with this, I've got some other tools here too. I'm gonna soak those handles down and at least weatherproof those. When you're working with a dry handle, when you start to soak it, the wood fibers will lift on you. The fibers that normally stay flat, the feather ends will lift up in the air as they start to hydrate again. But that's not a bad thing. You just keep soaking it in and hydrating the handle more and more as you go. And when you get about to that midway point, you take some rough sandpaper and just sand it and take them feathers off. And this handle here, you can tell, has got some pretty deep checks in it, and a split. When I'm done, after it's been soaked with the linseed oil, this split will close, and then I'll have to sand this again. This handle's bare wood compared to this one that's been treated. This other handle will turn darker also. These tines were completely loose, and they showed signs of being machine forged, like this one has. The ones that are attached, this square end, this is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square, and you can see where this handle has a bend right about here. This other one, that tang goes clear up to here. There's a square cut out inside the handle, and the wood was still attached inside here and in good shape. So I just kept it. This one here was busted, but the handle was busted off right at the separation here. So there was just no salvage to that handle. But I took this apart, and I filled this void in here with linseed oil 4 or 5 times, and then just let it. I stood it straight up in the air, filled this void up with linseed oil, and then just let it soak into this section here as much as it wanted. When it started to run down the handle, I stopped, give it a chance to soak in some more, then I went and did it again. Then I gave it about 2 days to dry out. I took the tang, and this was about, the other one was about 1.5 inches longer than this. I cleaned all the rust off of it, and then I coated this with mixed epoxy. And then there was a void inside this cap right here. I filled that completely up with epoxy, and then I seated the tang down into the recess that's been cut into the handle, because that's been the reason that it came off in the first place, is because that inside piece had cracked and had split apart far enough that it just wouldn't hold this in anymore. So right now this entire section is filled with solid wood and epoxy. So this is about 2 hours old, but it's set up enough. I built a collar all the way around it to seal up any moisture that'll come in later. Usually handling some pretty wet stuff with a pitchfork. I'll sand this collar metal part, give it some black paint, and I'll paint the crossbar on the tines black, and touch up the metal bits on the handle. Other than that, I'm just going to give it about 5 or 6 more coats of linseed oil. I use epoxy on quite a bit of things. This is a Pulaski firefighter's axe with the adze on the back side of it. When I got this, it was without a handle, so I got a double bit fiberglass handle. And the way these are constructed, they come up, and there's a collar right here that fits on the bottom side of the eye, and the rest of the eye is just a fiberglass oval that comes right up the center. So you fit the eye, and you stand it upright, and then you fill this entire void with epoxy. And this base right here, I've got it built. I have it built up over the top of the eye, so it collars out on each side. I wanted to make sure that this head stayed on good. But I have never had an epoxied handle come loose. So epoxy is a good fix for putting wooden handles, fixing wood handles when you've got a void that you need to fill also. But subject to this video is fixing wooden handles on hand tools. And we'll call this one done.